open this gate.
It's kind of we already started, so
Yeah,
it's just to finish that idea. Is sometimes I can see that it's no point in doing one thing or another. Thanks God it's not every day. And
yeah, but I think that's actually about personal growth and personal development and being more authentic of who yourself are. Being aware is a big part in my life. You know, my journey to where I am today.
But exactly, be more aware who you are, how you are, what you want to do, and how you want to do it, and that's probably the most important, by air quotes, finding yourself. Just to be in the moment, just understand who you are, and it doesn't make life much easier, but some easier.
I think that it definitely not making life easier, but it gives me the opportunity to be more aware, and it gives me the opportunity to have more control of myself, build my mindset. We all have stories. We all have,
Yeah. What helped you most to be aware and to, I don't know, calm down and stop for a moment and think?
Actually, I think that my whole life story been like, I've been seeing myself as a victim. I've been putting myself in this role of being a victim for the circumstances.
Not just you. I think so many people
Yeah.
are victimizing themselves. And I'm afraid that our culture is moving to absolutely wrong direction. We are living kinda in victimized culture right now.
Indeed, but
Like, I'm offended about this, I'm offended about that, racist, this, that. Too many labels, too many,
you know what?
too much bullshit
Mhm.
going on.
I believe, and I can only talk about my own path to where I am today. In that way, I'm also taking the ownership of where I was, what has happening, and where I am today. What people, and I agree, we have a problem around the society, in our
Big
world, that people is kind of going to that role of being a victim.
Mm.
But I cannot talk on other people's behalf.
But you can see,
But I can see it, yes.
we are not blind, right?
We-
Okay, I'm not,
No.
I cannot see so good, but we are not blind.
If you were asking my girlfriend, probably she would say that I'm blind. I know that I'm blind in the night. I can't see a shit when it's
Really?
dark. Yeah, I'm walking like it's fucked. I'm falling over things, and like I'm normally, when I was growing up at my parents' house.
Maybe you need glasses.
Yeah,
maybe it's just that.
Maybe.
Or you
but,
can fix it with a laser, I would like to get to get that.
Yeah, but that's where I don't want to hear the doctor who is doing the laser. I tried to.
Yeah, as we talked now. Sorry, bro. I really tried, but
something really bad.
outcome is you cannot see. Sorry. But next time I will try better.
Yeah,
Not on you, of course. Not on you.
No, but when I was growing up at my parents' house, I was living on the first floor, and I had to go down. Sometimes in the night I got hungry, so I had to go down to the kitchen and down the stairs. And even though I've been growing up there, and when I'm home at the house now, I still have to count the stairs when I'm going down, because I'm not sure when I'm at the end. So I might even though fall down sometimes, not from the whole stairs, but because I'm missing one stair.
But probably this blindness is not as bad as being blind.
No.
I mean, like, being psychologically blind. That's the probably worst thing you could have, because if you cannot see obvious things in life, it doesn't make your life easy.
No, but
and sometimes obvious things are really obvious, like just not for you, for someone else.
But also, like, you can't. How is it? you can't learn a blind man to see,
Hmm.
but you can learn a blind man to walk. You know, if you have the tools to explore and see the world in another way, I think that is a gift. You know, it's funny because we're talking about a blind man, or we're talking about this losing your view of from your eyes or something. I was sitting in the train a few weeks ago, and there was actually a blind man coming in, and this man was going like trying to find his way on the what you call between the seats, and he was then finding a spot. There was a young guy beside him, and the blind man was then asking him a few questions like, so can I ask you where you're going? And this young guy was like, yeah, I'm going to this place. And the young guy asked the blind man, where you going? "Oh, I'm going out in this world to meet some new people and to see how people is having it like." And they were talking, and it was just beautiful because the blind man then said, I like meeting people, I like seeing people, and with due all respect, can I then have your hand in mine so I can feel you? And that was just, I think it was beautiful, powerful. Like, he was exploring the world, he was seeing the world with those tools he had. You know what I mean?
That's nice and touching, but it's hard. I mean, for me, it's always hard to think even about that someone cannot walk or cannot see or
What
cannot
would be
read.
the worst thing for you?
I don't know.
Being blind or deaf?
Both worse, you know. I think that if you would take from me, if I couldn't speak, that could probably drive me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but not being able to speak it out. I think so. That's the probably worst. Of course, there are many bad things to happen, but kind of try not to think about it because you would probably go crazy. You know, even by thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of thinking about if I was getting blind or if I lost my hearing or.
I was reading one book about shit, how it's called, but it's about a guy who is kind of paralyzed in himself, also locked in himself, and he's fully conscious, but he cannot talk and cannot move, nothing. It's just lying down, and everyone is thinking he's in coma, but he actually can hear and understand and thinking, and months.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking sad, you know.
That would probably be the most saddest thing, to just be put in a bed.
It's like
without doing
like
anything.
buried alive,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck,
Yeah.
man. Even worse, like buried alive is just few hours of that,
Yeah.
and he is just, month after month.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that would probably be the worst thing. But when
I cannot imagine how can you stay sane lying in bed and understanding the world around you. It's
No.
like, fuck, man. And you cannot communicate nothing. Like,
No.
really bad.
It's just a prison in your own body.
But, prison in your own body, we are, in some sense, all of us,
Yeah.
we are kind of imprisoned in our, I would say, head. Everything is here. It's like when you think you cannot, like you said, why to say try, just pick it up, and it is the mindset we have. But I cannot do this, I cannot talk like that, I cannot do that. Maybe you are able for so many more things to do in life.
Yeah, but again, as we started talking about, I can only talk from my own story. I can only talk out of what.
It's always the best to relate to.
Yeah, but
what
it's
you
just
have.
like because my story is my story. As we talked when we were like
Hmm.
getting in contact, like the meaning of this podcast, the meaning of sharing stories, the meaning of meeting each other, just having a talk.
I think it's a beauty in
and that's
it.
the beauty of it, you know. But my belief in every person is that we have all, of course, a story. We have all some good things, some bad things. We have some uniqueness and some really shadow.
I was really amazed from short your story, you know, that you experienced so many like bad things, you know, in your life, and now you are trying to help other people.
Thank you.
That's really beautiful. I don't know if you're Christian or not.
The
That's the
Yeah, no,
idea,
no.
you know.
I believe I believe in God. I believe in the universe. I believe in, let's just, you know. And yeah, I've been growing up with the, what you call it, going to church and all those things. Over time,
Because I see you on.
yeah, indeed. Over time, I can see, this is actually the angel here is a present from my mom and dad when I graduated in my education a few years ago. But I've been growing up with the belief of God and Jesus. But in my teenage years, I decided not to have that faith. I decided to believe in, yeah, I don't know. I decided not to believe in anything, which in my opinion actually is a key to that. I decided to believe in everything. But
What do you mean?
Yeah, yeah, it sounds crazy, but at the same time that I decided not to believe in anything, like believe in God, believe in Jesus, believe in, you know, religion. I somehow not also decided to believe in everything. Because then I was using a lot of drugs. I was using a lot of alcohol.
What kind of drugs?
Everything.
Like
Weed, cocaine, dope, ecstasy, Emma, pills. Yeah, everything that could give me some kind.
but maybe not
I never used needles.
intravenous.
No. I never did that. I was smoking dope, but never did anything.
Any experience with psychedelics?
Yeah, I have also tried that also.
And?
What?
Is it bad? I mean, I hear from two sides, you know, one side that psychedelics can be like bad, like drugs, you know, and on the other side, like psychedelics could be a help for so many people. Against PTSD, against many things.
I believe in that.
And there are coming more and more
Yeah,
studies showing
I
that
believe
psychedelics
that
are.
with those you can definitely do something. I did not use it in that term of, you know, in that way.
Not in a healing way,
No, not at all.
more in party way.
I was, yeah, when I was using psychedelics, or I was using LSD.
LZ?
Yeah, I was only doing it to get wasted, you know, get fucked, and I indeed did.
With alcohol or just pure?
No. I was, you know, it was so many years ago, but I was using stamps, eating stamps, and all of those. I tried it a few times, and it was way too much. I have never.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I have never, as I said before, when I believed and when I decided not to believe in anything, I actually maybe believed in something that this was a period of time. I knew from the beginning when I was using to the day that I was deciding to stop my addiction, or not to stop my addiction. I knew that there was a period of time, even though when I was in my lowest, even though when I was dancing with the devil, you know, my demons, I knew at a point I will change my behavior. But when, I did not know. And I also somehow knew that either way I'm gonna become free, or I'm going to be dead. So I had like that belief. I was like, I believe that there was a period of time, but throughout those times I was using all my drugs and all the alcohol. I was losing myself. I was getting disconnected to my soul. I was getting disconnected to myself. I lost it now, but I was kind of, you know,
But
You can. I lost.
look, it's okay. It's just, don't you think that this could be maybe coincidence that when you used some psychedelica, that gave you some kind of deeper understanding to the world? I mean, that after you said you stopped believing in God, but you started believing in, let's say, universe. I don't know. So could it be that you started to believe deeper just
No.
because after?
No.
No?
My story is actually, and this is where it all begins. I've been growing up with a beautiful family, mom and dad, who has been caring, who has been supported, who've been loving me for who I was. I was adopted from Sri Lanka back in 1983.
Sri Lanka.
Yes, and got to Denmark, and I was growing
How old
up,
you?
How old I am today?
No, how old you were?
I was 6 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was growing up in my mom and dad's house. I had everything I needed, and I realized, but that's shortly in this year actually, I realized that I hit the jackpot when I was adopted, because before I had nothing. When I was adopted to Denmark, I got everything. I actually just won the big Euro jackpot at that time.
do you know your biological
Nope.
parents?
And I'm not interested in that. I got
Really?
I got my mom and I got my dad. It's been a huge problem for
You
me.
never thought about that?
Yeah, I have on and off, But now I have peace in my mind. If I'm going to find my biological mom, it will happen. If not, I'm settled with that. I have peace in my mind, because this journey where I've been, I have been going. I have been battling with my mind. I've been battling with my self-worth. I've been battling with everything. And throughout 18 years, I was using any kind of drugs. I was dancing with my inner demons. I was dancing with the devil. I was dancing with the darkness. And I've been dead a few times. I have been taking overdoses a few times.
Shit.
I've been in and out of mental hospitals, normal hospitals. I've been living on the streets. I've been fucked. I've been truly
For how long you had this?
how many years? I was using 18 years.
18 years.
Yes. So I was using everything. I was only living for the next fix. I was living for everything that could get me away from the reality, from this world, from my family, from
Just
my
escape.
friends. I was only an escape. I tried to escape from all the insanity, and also I tried to put on the responsibility that I was fucked up. I tried to put it on my family, my friends, those girls I was dating. I was being a victim of my own self-pettiness.
It's always their fault, not mine.
Exactly. I did not take any kind of responsibility. So the problem here was when I started not to believe, I started to believe in something darker within me, and this brought me to a dark journey where I had to fight my worst sides of my holiness, where I had to, I have put myself to so much roughness,
But
sadness, shit.
Today,
Today.
do you have any idea
Why I did that?
why you did that?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
have.
a self-destruction, of course,
Of course.
based on some psychological issues, of course.
No,
Probably, no?
not. It has nothing to do with psychological these problems. Not at all.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong.
No.
I'm not calling you stupid. of course.
I didn't.
It's, I mean, on some issues that might bother us,
Yeah.
like from childhood or
Yeah.
like this and that. I mean, it should be based on something,
Yeah, but
Do you have an idea?
there's a lot of things.
Why?
But the reality, the truth today is that I've been putting the truth. I have been normally saying that it was because of I was adopted. It was also because of the problems I had.
Of course,
with
you need
my-
to blame something, right?
Yeah, my mom and dad, and the rules we had when I was growing up, and all those things. But looking back now today, with over 7 years clean and sober, I realized.
For how many years?
I've been clean and sober for over 7 years now.
7 years.
Yeah, over 7 years. And looking back now, I realized one thing. It was not my mom and dad. It was not because I was adopted. It was not because I was living in Denmark. It's not about that. It was all about myself and those things I was battling with. Of course, there is problems in every family, I believe, and but what I was struggling with was my self-worth. You know, I did not believe I was anything.
I love that attitude.
You know, I did not believe that I was allowed to be a part of. I was filled up, and I'm still a man with guilt. I'm still a man with shame. I'm still a man who have been fighting a battle to stand up for myself and show the world that I'm a vulnerable man. I'm a sensitive man. I have my bad sides both in relationships and
Of course,
besides,
all
you
we
know,
have.
all those things. But I'm trying today to see myself as a whole picture. So the reason I started using drugs and alcohol was not because of my mom and dad or anything about my adoptions. It was actually because I had a feeling within me where I did not feel like I belonged to anyone.
What do you mean about?
I was disconnected from myself. I was disconnected from, you know, allowing myself the opportunity for the love. If we're talking about problems, my biggest problem is to accept the love that people want to give me. Accept that people actually like me and want me.
Makes sense.
You know, so instead of, I was so afraid, I was so scared to accept that I was.
But do you
loved.
think it has some reason behind all of this?
Of course, I'm a man who is.
Because you know, when as you said,
I'm a man who is also afraid of being separated. You know, and that's from my childhood. You know, of course, there is definitely things in that, and I see it.
That
also,
makes sense.
You know, I see it also now, but it was not. At that point, was not what I was aware of. I got my first bottle of alcohol when I was 8, 9 years. Got
like
my-
strong alcohol.
That was a little
beer
bottle
or
of it was a
wine?
bottle of some hot and sweet.
Oh, okay.
I got my first smoke when I was 4 years. You know, so I tried some substance who was, what can you say, giving my subconsciousness an awareness of putting myself beside. So I was dragged. Yeah, I was dragged into going another way than my mom and dad probably wanted me to go.
I really liked that you mentioned the responsibility.
Thank you.
Because you know when one is starting to be responsible for himself or someone else, and being conscious about that,
Mm-hmm.
everything can change
Indeed.
a lot. Do you familiar with someone called Jordan Peterson?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Peterson.
No, I'm not.
I will drop you his few books.
Yeah.
He's talking really a lot that we need to take responsibility for our life, and it's just resonating really good to me. But what do you think? What was the turn point? Where was this point you said, like, fuck man, I cannot live anymore like that. From tomorrow I will change. You know, as I mentioned, I quit for almost 2 years to smoke, and I was not drinking for a whole year, just to prove to myself, you know, something, I don't know what, and also to clean yourself and this and that, and to fix some maybe health issues and so on. But it wasn't easy, and I did it from 1st of January, just to prove also to myself and everyone that I can do it from, you know, when they say from Monday.
Yeah.
I did it from 1st of January, like just for fun. But where was your point? What did make you say, okay, from tomorrow I'm stopping this and I'm doing that or not doing that? Did you had any, I don't know?
Yeah, but that's, when you're asking me this question, it's kind of, there's been some milestones throughout my addiction. The first one is coming around 2009, where I'm in a dark place.
Like on drugs, or
Yeah, drugs and all the things. I remember I'm calling one of my childhood friends who's been in recovery also, was also at that point adopted.
so you grew up in Copenhagen, or
Jutland.
no?
And I'm calling this childhood friend at that point, and I knew that he's been in recovery or rehab. So I called him. I was like, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore, and I'm afraid, and I'm paranoid. I'm feeling like shit." And he was like, "Hey, keep up your head. You will manage to become clean and sober." And we had a long talk. I remember the date actually because it's also my cousin's birthday at that time. So it's the 27th of December 2009. And we had a long talk, and at a point I was like, okay, fuck it. I was not ready to go deeper within. Then I ended up in Copenhagen. I had a big dream of becoming a rock and roll star.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, playing with music and becoming a star. So I decided to move.
See, and now you are the star.
Yeah, I am a star. Thank you. Yeah, the world's best podcast.
Yeah.
No,
that's what I mean.
But what happened is that I'm moving to Copenhagen in 2012, and at that point I'm not 100% ready to become clean or sober. But I managed to get the opportunity to come into rehab. And I ended up in rehab for 3 months, which was amazing in so many areas, but also so fucked up because suddenly I had to face my own shittiness. I had to see that I'm not that beautiful picture that I have described myself.
It's sad to see the reality, right?
Yeah. So I was dating my own I was dating my own reality, facing all the shitty thing about myself. So those 3 months was a gift from above, but what I really remember was when I got home, I was like so proud. I'm not a tall man, but I felt like I was the tallest man on earth because I was really proud that I managed to put the drugs beside. And I was clean and sober for around 9 months. Then I ended up using again.
What exactly?
Heroin, dope, yeah, again. So.
But heroin is not.
No, you can smoke it and you can.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. All those things, but. The thing was that I ended up in rehab one more time, and this time I was actually not at all grateful about the opportunity. I wanted to go home to Copenhagen. I wanted to go home to my friends. I miss Copenhagen. I miss my friends. I wanted to go home to the normal life. So
normal life.
Yeah, I finished my rehab at that time. Ended up coming home to Copenhagen, became clean and sober for 10 months. 11 months. And some days. And I remember that this time was, wow. I really believed that this was the end of my addiction. But then I ended up using again. And it went even worse.
Why and how? I mean, friends or?
No, I was dating a girl at that point who was a sweet girl, but was not at all in balance, and I was triggered by her way of living, and I found an excuse.
Always excuses.
To start using again because I believe that she was the reason why, and I felt so sad and blah blah blah, and.
But again, as you said, blaming others and.
I did not take any responsibility, so I put in an opportunity instead of giving her the blame and giving me the opportunities to start using again, and this time I was really close to dying. So
like overdose or
I fell actually in this room. I woke up, I was getting my shit and fell on the ground with some powder on the cover and woke up. I don't know how long I've been away, but I woke up and saw I had some more back So I started taking that also. So the short story, story in this is actually the 1st of May, 2014. I ended up having the last dance with my drugs, and in the night.
How does it feel, or what do you feel when you're drugged? I don't know.
How does it feel? It feels like shit. At the point, if you had asked me in the old time, I would say this is life. But just thinking about the pain I was giving myself, the pain I gave my family, the pain I gave all the people around me who was hoping that I someday would find the way out of the addiction. That pain.
But there's also selfishness, right? I mean,
totally. The 1st of May 2014, when I was in this apartment here and in this room, and I've been out, and I was sitting with my coke at that time.
Cocaine.
Yeah, I was lost, really, really lost. And I remember I fell asleep at a point, woke up and went into this room again, went over to the window, and I fell on my knees and started crying like a little child, looking up in the air and just saying something like, "Help me. I'm fucked. Help me.
Shit, man.
Either way, I'm going to die, or you're helping me to survive, because I can't anymore." And since the 2nd of May 2014, I have not touched anything. Like, I have not touched coke or anything, any drugs or anything, like drinks or alcohol, nothing.
So alcohol also nothing. Zero.
I have an illness that if I start using, if I start drinking, if I start anything, we would probably not sit here tomorrow and have a talk, if so. Because then I'm way out. As we talked about earlier, I'm paralyzed. I will be a prisoner in my own life, and I'll probably also be dead. With 99%.
That's a good motivation not to start,
Yeah, but in the other way, yeah, that's a motivation. But
also motivation to tell to another, to younger generation.
Yeah, but you know
start.
what motivates me today is to see how much I have achieved in the last 7 years. Everything that I built.
How old are you?
I'm 38. 30.
Oh, same.
So everything I have achieved in the last 7 years, everything I got today in my life, I have achieved that throughout the 7 years I've been clean and sober. And if you're looking at what I did not achieve when I was using for 18 years, it has taken me 7 years to come where I am today. But it would take me a split of a second to destroy everything.
True.
So everything I got today is only because of the opportunity I found when I was most broken, and back to believing in something, because throughout my 18 years I only believed that either way I'm gonna live with drugs or I'm gonna be dead.
What would you say, or what are you saying now to young people who are partying on drugs and alcohol and this and that, rock and roll, I don't know,
but
all this jazz? What would you say, or what are you saying?
I'm not saying that they're not to do it. It's only up to them. I can judge them for what they're going to do. I cannot say.
But what's your advice?
My advice is, it's like there's so many beautiful things in life. We have an opportunity to take into ourselves. We have an opportunity to build up the future if we want it. And I know that there was a lot of kids or youngsters who is doing drugs.
It's very popular now.
Living the fast life.
Exactly, fast life. Yeah. Live fast, die young.
Yeah, exactly. Being smart in the fart, but not fart, but yeah. My advice would actually, that's a hard one, because I believe that it's always easier to put out the advice afterwards, because there's so many
I bagklåskevens klarlys.
Yeah, exactly. I
It's
remember
always
when
easier to see back, right?
Yeah, I remember when people was talking with standing like public speaking or talking about addiction, and I was like, yeah, for sure, cool. But when the party is fun, you don't want it to stop. But at a point, it will go downhill. At a point, it will either be life or death.
But same with everything, when at some point you are starting to abusing things.
Yeah, but
like alcohol or nicotine or drugs or
we all have
many
some.
things.
We all have some issues. We all have some addictive personality things, I think. But the thing is, my advice to people would be stop for a moment. Stop for a moment and
think.
yeah.
I mean,
it's okay.
Sounds cheesy, but
Yeah,
just maybe just think.
I can, I understand that people want to have the opportunity and other things, and it's been like Facebook is making people dumber, I think.
Oh yeah,
because when we're
that's
meeting,
for sure. But it's also good side.
Yeah,
I mean, we met on Facebook.
Yeah, of course. But
we started this podcast kind of based
Yeah.
on Facebook.
But the reason why I'm saying that is that kind of when we're talking with people on Facebook, it's like blah 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 blah, but when we're meeting people in real life, we don't know how to react. Suddenly, it's been all behind the screens, and suddenly we're meeting.
I think
people
it is.
face to
It
face.
is going really bad direction.
And then we have to
in
get
that
some
sense.
alcohol because how the fuck am
It
I
helps,
going to,
yeah.
how can I open
True.
up to become more cool and calm and all the things, alcohol and drugs was a way for me to become more self secure, getting a feeling, a vibe of being more cool.
But it's normal. I don't know how about drugs, but alcohol basically shuts down in your head these areas which are responsible for thinking, for logical thinking.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. It makes you dumber, like literally dumber.
But so what I'm
Also lose.
yeah, exactly,
You know?
we do not care. So I believe that
And maybe it's not bad in itself. I mean, if you take one shot.
But I'm not the one because I'm not able to drink or using anything. But I'm not the one who judges people if they want to do it, because now the reason I have gotten the opportunity to have a choice. I can choose to be with people who want to use drugs and alcohol and live that life, or I can choose those people who want to have a good life. Of course, have a glass of wine or something and have party
Sure,
and all the things
sure.
that's normal. But I can choose. I finally got the power to have a choice in my life. Before, I did not have a choice. I was,
But I can really relate, not in so much, but in this one sober year, what I got from New Year to New Year, in 12 months, I felt like I was not drinking hard or something. I just was drinking every second day a little bit, one day 2 beers, another day 2 wines, another day 3 shots, just. But in the morning, on the next day, you are a little bit fucked, And when you count how much time you are losing by drinking or in a weekend getting wasted, getting a hangover on the next day and so on, it feels like when you are sober, you have so much time to do anything else. And I am kind of sure that same would be being free from social media.
yeah,
It's also narcotics, it's also addiction.
100%, and to be honest now, because when we had an agreement today at 8:00, and I got to my apartment, and as I said when you arrived, that I'm so sorry I did not answer my phone, but I forgot my phone, and I'm totally fucked. I'm locked out, like I was lost. I did not have the credit card. I did not have anything.
Yeah.
So this showed me one thing, and that was my addiction to my fucking phone.
It is.
Everything I need is in that little bugs, you know, and suddenly I was like,
Scary.
yeah. So we have addiction all over the place. We have addiction all over in this world, you know. Some people might.
But do you believe in responsible use? Like, let's say responsible use of social media, responsible use of nicotine, responsible use of alcohol, responsible use of drugs. Do you believe in that? Or you would say some things need to be just not used?
You can't put it in like, I do not believe that you can say this should not be used. The only reason why I'm sharing that I am not able to use alcohol or to enjoy alcohol, rather would use that sentence, is because I have this illness. I'm an addict. And normal people without the addict, what do you call it, personality, would like to take a glass of red wine or bottle of something with alcohol.
But maybe you don't know if you are addict or not.
No, but when a person who is, if you go to the to take a beer, you will drink one and then okay, I have to go to work tomorrow, or I have to like. But if I was drinking one, I would never start with one beer.
I'm having also hard to stop.
But you know, I was growing up with my mom and dad who drank a bottle of wine, you know. But it was okay. They took a glass of wine and then put it in the fridge again, you know. But if it was me, I would take the whole bottle, you know, and then the party would start. So every time, you know, it's not about I do not have a stock bottom, you know. I'm going all in. So it's not like okay, we can have a glass of wine or a beer or something. No way. Because if I start, I will go downhill. And that's the allergy I have. I can't control my addiction. So.
But now you are controlling.
Yeah,
big time.
But if I start, if we were sitting here drinking a glass of alcohol.
Just a little vodka.
Little vodka, but you know now. But then I would not be able to do anything else but drink again. Okay. This is my illness. So my illness of being an addict. It's an illness that will destroy everything if I start using again. I have to be aware. I have to be really careful about what I am doing, not because I'm afraid of going out or have fun at bars or anything. No, but I have to be aware of the little devil who is talking all the time.
Is it hard? I mean,
not anymore. It's not hard, but it's still. It's actually become a journey. But it's been rough, you know. I used the 12-step program when I was starting.
What is that?
That is a program where fellows who've been battling addictions or alcohol, you know, showing up, meeting each other, having talks, and you know.
White 12-step. I know I heard this.
Yeah, you know,
phrase.
You know, alcoholic.
Anonymous.
That's one of the groups I've been going to also.
Are still
no, actually now I haven't been using the groups for a while. But it's not because
Is it helpful?
Yeah, because I did not manage to become clean and sober when I was in rehab. The only thing that happened when I was fall down on the floor and was looking up to God or the universe and asked to get help was also that I was invited for AA meeting. 12-step meeting where I ended up going through the steps with help from another person.
Do you remember what these steps are? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I remember, but I'm not sure that I am able to put it out in English. Let's see, the first step is
it doesn't necessarily need to be step by step, just in general.
Yeah, but it's like the first and second and third step is all about yourself awareness, like
start to be self-aware.
The third
self-conscious.
Step, yeah, but it's also, you know, first steps is admitting that you have a problem. You know that your life is fucked, that you are fucked up.
You know that's the first step in many things, right?
Yeah, but the second step is also like getting a belief. The third step is about finding something bigger than yourself that can help you. The first step is a self-inventory, like going deep within and see how fucked you are. The 5 is actually, that was the most beautiful step, and for me was sharing all my darkness with a person who has been going through the steps before me, and realizing that I was not that bad at all.
And not alone, you know.
I'm not alone. The 6 and 7 steps is all about the fundament. Like, have I been totally honest? The 8 step and 9 step is all about going out and admit that you have been fucked and you have hurt a lot of people. So showing up, apologizing to people, not apologizing like I'm sorry, but what can I do for you, so your pain, so your sorrowness would heal, because I know that I was fucked against you or something, you know. Take responsibility, you know, again.
Yeah.
And 10th and 11th steps are all about, you know, meditation, your awareness,
Like mindfulness.
yeah, more meditation about, you know, and praying, not because you have to pray to God or something, but put in the gratitude of the opportunity that you have now. And the 12 steps, for me, that's the most beautiful and most powerful thing. Pay it forward. I got the opportunity, by meaning I got the opportunity to go through the steps with help from my sponsor at that time. And 12 steps is actually where we are,
like, help someone,
helping other people to become clean and sober also.
But I just got goosebumps, you know. But don't you think that kind of every second human being could, even not being alcoholic or drug addict, it would helpful for so many people to do with 12-step program? You know, everything what you said, I was like, that could be used for someone who is not abusing stuff or alcohol or something.
To be honest, I believe that everyone should do this 12 steps, because it's not funny.
At some point, you know, like,
you know, it was a gift, and what the 12 step did for me was also realizing that there is something that calls personal growth. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
I realized that.
And you became a better human being.
I ended up becoming a better person.
Just because of that, I believe so.
Yeah, I got more aware of my shadows.
But see, everything in life happening with meaning.
Yeah, I believe.
I mean, if you would not starting to use something, you would never go to the program, and probably you would not be who you are today.
Indeed.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah, but
call it destiny. Call it, I don't know how you want.
It's beautiful, but it's, yeah, you know, I'm not the guy who should.
Nothing is happening without reason.
No,
you know.
There's a reason behind everything that's happening in life, and I believe that.
I want to believe it.
Yeah, and there's a reason why we're sitting here today. There's a reason why we got the cameraman here today. There's a reason why everything is put in place. I do not believe that I have to figure out what happens tomorrow. So it would just give me an opportunity to be here right now, even though that I'm also trying to figure out the next steps and the next steps, you know. But the best thing is when I'm giving away my control, I also realize that I ended up in some kind of a flow, you know, and instead of being in that control of and feeling that fear of being anxious or, you know, anything. Like,
anxious is a big problem today,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. You know, and I'm also that. You know, the beautiful thing I realized throughout the 7 years I've been clean and sober and free is I got the key. I got the key to whatever I want, as long as I'm able to be aware of myself, as long as I'm able or willing to go all in to fulfill those dreams or needs or calls. There's a saying that your dreams you did not choose your dreams. Your dreams chose you. It's only your responsibility to take it and make it a reality. You know, and I have huge goals and dreams. Some will be my reality, others would not.
But or how you are helping for the, like, how you are implementing the 12 step today. I mean, you are trying to help people.
Yeah. I'm not in some way I'm using the steps, but I'm more aware.
No, I mean,
but
in your life today, how you are trying to help people in general, not just for addicts. I mean,
no, the way I'm helping people today, because what happened after in the last 7 years has been a beautiful story,
we have time for that.
Yeah, we decided to say,
Definitely.
No, but the story of me dancing with the devil throughout my 18 years was also beautiful, because I had the opportunity to see the darkness, and also I had to see the light of the tunnel, end of the tunnel. And somehow deep within me knew that at a point I will manage to find the light again. And I managed to find the light. I found the light.
That's
Even
very
though that I
important.
tried to kill myself and all those things. I managed to come into the light, where I was starting this beautiful journey. This is my story, because shortly after I ended up having cooperated work with a record label in US.
Uh-huh.
And end up having a radio rotation around Florida, New York, Australia, England, Denmark, Germany, also Seattle.
What are you doing?
I was playing music at that time.
No?
Yeah, and music always been a kind of therapy for me.
Okay.
Some of the best songs I wrote at that time was in my addiction time, and then
But do you think it's coincidence, or you think drugs are kind of helping for being more creative?
I would probably say both.
Both.
It opens up doors, but probably also allows you to get in contact with your feelings. But what happened afterwards was also that I suddenly out of nowhere ended up stopping playing music. I lost the joy of playing music, and it got spiritual.
What did you play it with?
I play guitar.
Guitar.
Yeah, and at a point, I did not feel the joy of playing music that much. I still love playing, but not in that amount of So I changed my beliefs and started to go in another way, where I was working with spirituality. I started meditating a lot. I started doing a lot of healing.
When you say a lot, how long?
I meditate. I was normally at that point was a half an hour in the morning. I took my bicycle at that time, drove into the lakes in Copenhagen, and there was a place where we were meeting at 6 a.m. in the morning to do meditation, and then we started the day after.
With a AA group or
what? No, not any other A group, but we just started like there was a meditation group where we were meditating from 6 a.m. to around 6:30 or 7. Then we had a normal day, and in the evening at 6 again we met up again and did another meditation at half an hour, 1 hour. So I was meditating around 1 or 2 hours a day. And it opened up for a new point of view of life. I was starting doing healing and took some educations about a healer. Then started an education of becoming a clairvoyant.
Are you working now as a healer? Or?
Also, yes. And then starting working as a clairvoyant.
Sorry, what?
Clairvoyant.
What is that?
Clairvoyance medium. How do you tell us about that?
In Danish?
Clairvoyant.
Clairvoyant. Says me nothing.
This doesn't. Okay, it's talking with spirits.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and it's spiritual advisement. Talking about. I am talking throughout the spirits to the customers and helping them getting guidelines.
Can you do that? I mean, how can you do that?
Yeah, but that's we all have a gut feeling, We all have the
That's for sure.
And some people, I believe, that have a higher intuitions, like can feel a bit more, and there's ways that you can get in contact and allow the spiritual world to put in some message throughout you to you. Example.
I believe that we have so many things we don't know yet, but I'm always trying consciously to be more skeptical about everything.
I know and I understand, and
Not normal human nature.
Yeah, I think so. But what I've experienced here is that it's a beautiful way of giving guidelines to people. Some people will say it's code reading. It's not about that. I do not believe that I'm able to know those things.
In my opinion, even if it's not working, let's say, I think for many people the placebo effect can be as useful as true drugs.
Yeah.
And
But about that about the spirituality, I found some peace when I was going that path, and I experienced a lot of joy when I was going to go deeper within, because it was also a way of working with personal growth again.
Yeah.
And I also allowed myself to see some of my darkness on my.
So you are working now on healing, on helping psychologically.
Yeah.
What is your, I don't know how to ask, what is your customer today like?
It's a different people.
Very different?
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot say that on average.
I believe, as I said, people have different issues. People have different problems in life where they need advice.
But what's the most common?
A lot of people searching for deeper knowledge about why they can't find love. Example,
like a guest or a partner in life.
Being in a loving relationship. What I'm helping people with is getting a physical and mental balance in a busy work day.
But would you agree, if you want to find
love,
let's call it, or another human being to share your love, maybe first of all you need to fix yourself? I mean, you should probably start from yourself.
You should start. Not probably. You should start with yourself. But even though that you start with yourself, it's also, I think that all we need is love.
Yeah, it sounds cheesy, but it is.
And it's important to understand that nobody outside can fix your problems. It's your own responsibility.
I believe that 100%.
But you can find some support to go through the valley, so that you have the opportunity to see the light with someone else beside you. So people,
it's like a blind needs a dog to go.
We can never learn a blind man to see, but we can learn him to walk. We can give the blind man the tools so he can walk the path on his own.
And what is, I don't know, what's usually your advice for people who are seeking
advice for
love?
I'm working with my 5S system, so it's about one.
It's your own?
I haven't built up a system where we're working with. In Danish, it would be about sårbarhed, being vulnerable, then the power, as a styrken, and then the self-worth, selvværd, and then health, sundhed. And in the end, it would be what matters. That would be the key to success. So it's all about how you see yourself, meet yourself, how you find your power within yourself, how you balance your physical and mental balance within yourself, and what you want.
Makes sense.
So that system I'm working with, but it's not always about that way. People come to me because I can guide them. And if I'm able to do that, it would be my pleasure. And it's not always a success, People are also responsible for their own choice. And if they come to me, I can do what I can do. But if they're not also willing to work beside the sessions, I would rather.
Yeah, you will not
No.
seem like
I have like
in physical training, right?
Yeah.
You can have a trainer,
Yeah.
but he will not go to the gym
no.
for you.
No.
He will not eat.
I cannot do the work for my customer, but I can help them getting
Sure.
the process balanced. I can help them feel more balanced.
Advice.
So that, yeah.
But how many of them are addicts or not so many?
I actually don't have addicts.
No?
Not right now. No. It's people who have other issues or other problematic things in their life. I'm aware now. But it doesn't mean that I'm not working with people.
No, it's
Like,
just
you know,
just was
but,
a
you know,
question
I-
because maybe you could be able to
yeah,
help.
but I had a period of time I was focusing more on that, but also I developed my own, self-awareness. I'm not, I do not want to put addicts out of the way, not at all, but I believe that we develop each other,
Hmm.
and at a point I'm in another point of my life where I will attract some other clients of
Hmm.
human beings and people who need some more in that area, and so I think
That's
it's-
nothing wrong
No,
with that.
so
Not at all.
it's all about growth.
And your sessions, how how long does it take, and how often you meet with your customer, or it's just individual?
A session is about 1 hour, 130 minutes, 1 hour or between 1 hour
And 1.5.
30. Yeah. So half an hour. Yeah.
That's reasonable. And you meet once a week, or
No, if they're going to have, then I'm like between 1 or 2 times in a month. I would rather that we're working hard and intense in the first session, and
Mhm.
then have a space, and then again.
so you do some or give some homework to.
Yes, indeed. They get some tools and get some advice. They, of course, if my clients are in a situation where it's the SOS,
Mm.
they are able to call me also. So yeah.
Are they? Contacting you on
No,
Facebook
I
or
actually it's
email,
both.
whatever.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's like, yeah.
does it hard for them and also for you?
What story?
Does it hard to work on
No,
this?
it's not hard for me to work with them. It's hard. Maybe it's getting.
Does it not giving you some kind of psychological pressure
Mm.
on you? Like if I just imagine if
Yeah.
someone would come every day, like if I would have many customers, and they would come with their problems to me. I mean, come on, I'm having my problems in life,
Mhm.
and if I would be in a need to listen for 3 people every day
Mhm.
with their problems, so I would end up my work week with 15 different problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I would fucking go crazy, I think so. I don't know.
It's not about
Or you kind of
no.
separate, or
When people is coming to me, it's because they have an area in their life they want to have more balance, and
Mhm.
and people is, as I said, I was using spirituality into this also. I have some different things I'm using, but with guidelines and tools, they are able to get it more and more in contact with themselves.
Mhm.
So I believe that even though that they might have problems or things that doesn't work in their life, if we start working with them, if we're starting creating their self-belief, creating their own picture of themselves, is putting the pieces into pieces, everything will be more and more calm. So instead of having focus on the art world, we're going to have focus on the inner world of them. And even though they have problems, it doesn't mean that I'm filled up afterwards. I'm not, because I separated, because I'm not them.
I know, but it's just I'm thinking it would be probably hard. I don't know. It's just
I'm not connecting with my customers when they're out of this room.
Hmm.
So when they are out, not in a hard way, but
I
I have to
understand.
put up the line, it's a professional line between right now,
Yeah, because otherwise you would go mad.
Yeah.
Because people are crazy, right?
No, people, it's not
In
crazy.
some.
People might just have
Not
been traveling too far away from themselves.
But don't you think that the life we are living today, it's helping, air quotes, us to disconnect from ourselves
Definitely.
a lot?
But then there is a beautiful thing in this. That is, there is also an opportunity to get back to yourself.
How?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
How? There's a lot of people who says, and now I'm smiling. There's a lot of people who says that we have to get out of our comfort zone.
Yeah, it's kind of cliche, go out.
I do not believe that.
Why?
I think that we have to get back to our comfort zone. And I want to show you why. Because
Try.
I'm gonna make a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's working. Okay, this is a circle. Okay?
Mhm.
You see the picture like? So now I'm gonna take a stone, my ring, and I'm gonna drop it down there in the middle. This is where the first ring will start,
Mm-hmm.
It will be bigger and bigger and bigger, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying right now? Cool.
So far, I'm
Yeah.
kind
When
of.
we put
with you.
a rock in the water, the headquarter is in the middle.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it will.
And it will be bigger and bigger and bigger,
Exactly.
Good. So what happened is the ring out here will be weak.
Yeah, the strongest here,
It-
weakest.
Yes. I see it like this. We need to get back to our comfort zone, because in the comfort zone, in the circle of life, we have all the power. So even though that it's hard to get in here, because it's every circle out of here is weak and weak and weak. So we have the weakest circle, and we have to break into another circle, and we have to get back slowly. So that is why we experience this as so hard and also painful sometimes. When I was a kid, I believe I could walk around with a stick in my hand, and this was a gun. I could
Yeah.
do everything, and I could be
My kids are doing now.
Yes,
the same.
exactly. At a point in my younger age, I was told that I could not run around with a stick in my hand and believe it was a gun. I was taken this opportunity of me having this fantasize was taken away, and I was put into boxes to become a part of the reality, the society. My thought of this with the circle here is actually every circle out here is the weakest. So if we have problems getting out of the couch, going to the gym, it's actually because we are out here. If I have to go through this next ring, I have to find a motivation. I have to start doing it slowly. It will be hard. It would be painful. It would manage so much time for me. But I believe that in the inner circle, we as human beings are given the opportunity for everything we want in life. But since we was a baby, we've been pulled out in every circle. And some people is out here, some people is out here, some people is
Interesting
far
theory.
out. But my theory is that now it's time to shut it down and get back to reality, get back to the centrum in our life, so we can fulfill our life with what we want to have in our life. So we don't.
In some way, it makes sense. I mean,
I know that it's a new theory. Some people would say that this is bullshit, but
no, I wouldn't say it's bullshit. It's
but
just,
I believe that when we was kids, have you ever sat with your boys when they are eating, taking a spoon and tell them, here come the helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that your kids think that it's a helicopter because they're laughing and and all the things? I believe the kids see this as a helicopter or something fun.
In some way, yeah.
But if I was doing it to you now, you would probably think I was insane.
Most probably, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
If I was sitting with,
Depending on situation, of course, you know. if I would walk on the street and you will come and
Yeah,
say, it's
but-
a helicopter,
but-
okay.
do you get the point?
this
Because
fucking
when
madman.
kids, when we were kids, we were able to believe. There was nothing that stopped us. We had the opportunity to dream big, to believe that this glass could be a castle or a house or something. Everything was possible for us as kids.
Yeah, but I don't see any chances to come back to that. I don't.
No, it's not going back to that. It's about going back to who you are, getting back in your comfort zone. So you have the choice to find out what you want in life. So when people are saying, and this is only on my shoulders, I want to help people to get back to the comfort zone because I believe that people have the same opportunities and the same power.
But you know, when it's used in that sense, out of comfort zone, I think it's used more physiologically, not psychologically. Like, stop sitting on a couch, stop sitting and drinking beer and eating chips. Go out of your comfort zone, go outside and do something, you know. I think that is meaning more in that sense. I mean, in physical sense.
Yeah, but still.
Like, stop being potato couch.
Yeah.
Or couch potato, or how we call it.
There's a reason why people are sitting on the couch eating potatoes.
True. I believe. Yeah.
I believe that it's because they got too far away. They got lazy.
Exactly.
And because they got lazy, they didn't have the strength to get back. So if you are in the weakest circle, and you have to go into another circle that is a bit stronger, it will manage you. It will manage. You will need to have the power to start go back to it. But when you are going through that wall, you are ready to the next circle, and that is a little bit stronger than the last.
But
circle.
also meaning by it's a little bit harder every time.
Exactly, but you now got a little more power. You got a little
Probably.
more knowledge, so you actually are able to do it at a point.
Yeah, so for me it makes sense. I mean,
So that is my point of view when we're talking about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, really, in a good way. It's just, as I said, I believe that too many people are in the physical comfort zone, you know, for
Myself,
doing nothing, watching Netflix.
exactly. I am.
Because
Right.
it's easy, you know,
Yeah.
you get your dopamine so easy.
Yeah.
Just take your phone, scroll. Oh, good.
Yeah, you take your phone.
You know, take a shot, drink. Oh,
You take your
good.
phone and scroll when you got your phone and haven't forgot it. No, I believe that also. My biggest problem is also I'm still. You can see this with the circles. It's all around. You know, the life areas. I have an area in my life where I want to lose some weight. Example. You know.
Me too.
So we have the circle over here. I have
too.
some areas in my life where I need to grow as a man. So we have another circle here. You know.
No,
it's-
but then, yeah, in that
put it-
case-
you put the difference. What you call it? Emner,
Teams.
yeah,
Or,
themes around, you know, in circles. And actually, so you have, I want to lose weight, but I'd rather put myself on the couch. Okay, so you're out in the far circle, you're down, really out, you know. Yeah. So.
yeah, and we just visited bakery, you know.
Yeah, indeed.
In that sense,
Yeah,
for
and-
losing weight,
and-
you know.
yeah. So, but it's okay. Remember, as I was, you know, I was so afraid when I got clean and sober. I was so afraid.
Afraid?
Yeah.
From.
What the fuck should I do when I was not able to drink now?
Mm.
You know.
But it
how
is.
How could I be a part of the party? And
I
you
was
know,
afraid that with smoking, you know.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not smoking, what should I do, you know?
What should I do? You know, the most beautiful thing here is that I experienced that it's much more fun going to bars now. It's not much more fun to hang around with my friends. Not because I'm going a lot. I'm going out a lot. I'm not doing that anymore. But I like it, and I got the choice now. When people is getting too drunk, I'm going home, and
And you save. Undskyld. And you're saving a lot of time and money, you know.
yeah, I probably think that my friends also like that I'm not drinking because we
You can
now-
drive.
yeah, if I had a license, but I do not have that right now. But what they like is that every time you go out, there is always one person who has to drink my drinks. Because I'm drinking water or taking a Diet Coke or something, you know. But still, I want to be a part.
Yeah,
I want to be
sure.
a part of those people. So we have decided that there is always one who should have my glass of alcohol.
Why?
Don't know. Just to be like, so there's always one who has to drink a double up.
Okay.
Like he's drinking for himself and then drinking for myself. You know? So the one is, so that's just a funny story, but yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
So one is wasted all the time.
Definitely, when it is. So, and just to follow up on what you asked me about my advice to youngsters, don't take anything for granted. Do not take anything.
That's a good one.
Do not take anything for granted.
That's a really good one. And I think it's really nice thing to wrap it up with with a really good advice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
I hope we will do it once again.
We'll do that once
on
again.
something.
Definitely.
Take care.
Open this gate.